just the highlights. This is the Bite-Sized Business Breakfast.
Scene setter for you. So times is tough for every industry out there, none more so than hospitality. You don't need me to tell you that. You just go out and about, speak to restaurateurs, speak to managers and otherwise. They are doing their best, though, to get through these tough times, and to a large part, certainly at the weekends, a number of UAE residents and faithful are doing their bit to support them. Next up, let me introduce to you one of the big players in the food and beverage, the hospitality industry here. They have brands such as Asia Eurasia, STK, Wave House, to mention but a few. But possibly one of the best known of their brands is, of course, LSB, Lock, Stock and Barrel, which has two existing outlets already. They're about to have a third. That's right. They are about to launch another one in just a matter of weeks' time or so at the end of this year. To tell us why, to explain himself, we've got the co-founder and the CEO of Solutions Leisure, Paul Evans, joined us live on the line. Paul, good to speak to you this morning.
Good morning, Tom. As always, great to be on the show.
No, it's really good to have you on board, and it's really good to have a bit of positivity during these negative times. But come on, Paul, explain to us all, is this really the time to be opening a new Lock, Stock and Barrel?
Absolutely not. You know, I'll be gay somewhere that I'm an absolute genius, or I'm totally and utterly insane. I just made the decision that when we came back from lockdown, what was I going to focus on? Was I going to sit and spend my time thinking about all the challenges that were in front of us, looking at the teams being challenged and saddened by the experiences that they have to go through? You know, this team's worked so hard over the last 8 years to build this group with us. And I couldn't allow that to happen. So I made the decision that we were going to focus on how do we come out of this the best, leanest version of ourselves that we could. And what I saw was expansion. I saw opportunity. So I went knocking on some doors to see if there were other people that shared that vision with me. And fortunately enough, our partners at Grand Millennium in Barsha were very keen to do another one. So let's do another one. Let's keep the team focused on building this business, not closing this business down. So that's how we've always operated. We've always thought about, when challenging times come at us, do we cut from the bottom or do we fill from the top? We've always filled from the top, and I'm not about to let that change. So we got after it.
You've got two already, JBR, Barsha Heights, as you mentioned there. Next one's going to be down in Business Bay. Paul, it's not small. It's 8,000 square feet.
Well, it's small if you compare it to the JBR one. I mean,
True.
that fits in the bathrooms of the JBR one. So it's a small and cosy one. It's very similar to the original one. In fact, it will be pretty much identical carbon copy of the original one. That one made our name for us. That one was, a game changer in this city, in the industry, I believe. I still think that's the best venue we've ever built from the 50 odd that we've done over our career. So it'll be a great venue. Very difficult to do openings, very difficult to do big launches in these moments. We have to be cautious of that, as we saw with Baby Q when we launched that 3 weeks ago. So it won't be the traditional gang-busting opening that we're used to with a Lock, Stock. But those days will come back, and when they do, we'll do another opening and we'll do another grand launch, and we'll operate within the conditions that we have to for the safety of our guests.
Paul, just to correct me, I'm reading into a couple of comments you've given already here. These are decisions that you're making for the team, for yourself, for positivity as well, as opposed to financial sanity. Is that fair?
Yeah, there's not real financial sanity to it at the moment. I mean, we launched Baby Q recently. Most of our venues are operating at break-even or loss at the moment. It's very hard to build up the critical mass with the restrictions that you've got in place. So it is all about positivity. It's all about keeping that team focused on what we can change and keeping our eyes away from what we cannot change. And we'll be well positioned when the world comes back to normality. We'll have more outlets, we'll have better footprint, we'll have new venues opening, we'll have new opportunities for our teams, we'll be able to promote people, we'll be able to move them into new challenging roles. So, that's what we're trying to do, and we can't spend too much time worrying about 80% of the business that we've lost. So let's worry about, how do we rewrite those numbers on the balance sheet financially at a later date? I can't do that now. So I'm not busy thinking about that now. I'm not looking at how I can make money today. I'm looking at how we can position ourselves to be in a much better position for our teams tomorrow.
But Paul, you need to pay the bills today. I mean, that is a fantastic sentiment, and I applaud it. How do you make sure that it works for the short term?
You keep your eye on your costs. You don't do brave rental deals. You know, we've been fortunate enough that our partners are prepared to help us with turnover rent. We don't have a single partner today who's not supported us in that. We're fortunate enough that our venues drive immense footfall. So what I've tried to do is when I've gone and talked to these landlords, I've tried to suggest that we can help them activate their towers. So instead of spending lots of money on marketing and pushing their hotels, let the brand of Lock Stock do that. So we've gained good financial commitment from our partners to help us along this journey. And we're just very careful. You know, we've got support from our suppliers. We're managing to make sure that we maintain our position. So we're not really going backwards too much. We're not going forwards, but we're earning enough money to pay the teams, to pay the suppliers, to get some cash across to landlords and keep the wheels moving. That's the most important thing. While you're open and you're operational and you've got money coming in, cash flow can help you get through these days. You might need to lean on your credit facilities a little bit more than normal, but
I like the fact that you're looking forward, Paul, and also, I mean, you are a man who's renowned to have your finger on the pulse when it comes to the next hot spots around the city. It seems that whenever LSB opens, that sort of area becomes the go-to area. Is that why you've chosen Business Bay? Is this going to be a growth area moving forward?
Yeah, well, I think this, you know, Dubai is so dense with some amazing food and beverage. You know, I think it's got to be in the top 3 countries on the planet for diverse, top-end, midpoint food and beverage. So it's very hard to find an area where you can go in and you don't necessarily have a competitor, or you're going to start taking and eating from other people's business. I believe Business Bay is that area. So, you know, there isn't a Lock Stock competitor down in Business Bay. There isn't somebody that we have to go in and consume their customer base. We can go in and build our own, very similar to what we did in Barshire. So, yeah, I think Business Bay, as you sort of look at the next 12 to 18 months, is most certainly an area where Lock Stock can go in and do what Lock Stock does. When
are the doors opening?
I would guess early 2021.
Okay.
I think what we also don't want to do is open too soon when there's the business levels are not where they need to be. You know, we need to have a reasonable bit of a runway to get that thing moving. So I think it's probably going to take us a good 90 days from now to get it built, and then we'll look to sort of get New Year's out of the way. We'll be busy with our other stuff, and then get open in January would be a nice place to be.
A nice way to kick off 2021, a new chapter.
That's
for
the thing
sure.
As well. You know, we should hopefully be able to announce some more soon as well. So we're looking at doing quite a few projects down in Abu Dhabi with Aldar down there. So
amazing stuff.
I can't announce that just yet, but hopefully in the next couple.
We're
of
always here for that announcement. Don't you worry. We'll be in touch with you, Paul. Paul, really appreciate your time this morning, my friend. Thank you so much indeed to you and the Solutions Leisure team with the announcement that they are expanding the portfolio in the coming months. Great news.
You've been listening to a Dubai Eye 103.8 podcast. To enjoy lots more from Dubai Eye in the United Arab Emirates, just go to DubaiEye1038.com or find them wherever you normally get your podcasts.